Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more videos like this.
Could be more rain than shine, with enough rain to perhaps cause some issues. But it's less of a problem with the rain that it's going to be with the onshore flow and the tidal cycle that will bring our coastal flooding. We do have a coastal flood watch that is up. You can see parts of Georgia and then all the way down through the coastal areas of Florida. This is for tomorrow morning and then again for Saturday morning, even into Sunday morning. And so first of all, look at the winds. We've got winds already into Friday. They're going to be quite gusty. That wind direction is key. If it's pointed on shore, that's going to make our situation so much worse when it comes to the high tides. It's going to be windy to say the least, though. Look, 25 to 30 mile per hour winds on Saturday, and then going up the coast as we get into Saturday afternoon and Sunday. North Carolina coast here gets some stronger winds as we watch this coastal system here hovering just offshore. So a really blustery, windy next 3 days, actually, right along the shore especially. And then when it comes to the coastal flooding, look at places like Charleston and Savannah. We've got major flooding in the forecast. And it's not necessarily going to be the kind of flooding that lasts all day of these next several days, but it will be at the time of high tide and about an hour or two on either time or either side of high tide. We are looking at Savannah, Georgia, and the Fort Pulaski tide gauge. Today, you can see where we are. We're not looking at flooding right now, but as we get into the weekend, this is Saturday morning. That's when we get up to that major flood stage. Saturday morning, high tide about 8 o'clock-ish in the morning. Same thing in Charleston. That's when you could be dealing with some flooded roads. And in Savannah, it's Highway 80 that would be affected, and that would make Tybee Island inaccessible with the levels we're looking at. So plan for that on Saturday morning. You know, the tide cycle has a big effect on how we live and play, and it can cause a lot of problems. For the explanation on how they work, Mark Elliott looks to outer space. Saw some of the biggest of rain, and that's really where we're going to focus some of the biggest rain in the next 5 to 7 days as well.
Seattle, we always think about Seattle as being that wet, soggy city. Well, it's certainly going to be that here for the remainder of the week into next week.
November really is the month that gives you that reputation because, you know, it's our rainiest month of the year, and on average, we get rain a lot of days. Actually, I think November 17th, 79% of the time it rains. I mean,
that's pretty wild.
Yeah.
We got to check and see if this 17th ends up being that wet too.
Yeah.
I'll bet. If I were to bet, go for it, right?
Yeah, exactly. Don't plan your wedding that day.
All right, so here's what we've got here into the early part of next week. You can see sort of the flow of moisture that's coming on into the west, particularly kind of driving into the northwest. But yeah, we got a system impacting us here across Alaska, and this thing is going to dump the snow.
You saw everything kind of curled up right here into the Bay of Alaska. And so we've got all the moisture coming in. We've got cold air in place. The snow will be adding up big time in the Chugach Mountains. It will be, you know, down in where people are, it'll be a couple of feet. But you go up, it'll be more than that here. That's how much moisture and how much energy there is with that system.
And eventually some of that dives a bit south, and that's going to have an impact on us again. All the way through early next week, the threat for that rain is going to be around. Now, there will be some snow, but higher elevations here, getting to the Cascades, is where you'll find the best bet for some of that snow to add up.
Yeah, snow levels are pretty high, and because we actually have a ridge over the west here with all these systems kind of sneaking in right underneath it. And you'll see as that moisture comes in, it's not until we get into the weekend that the system that approaches points right at the coast. And so especially southern Oregon, you get into this plume of heavier moisture coming in.
Yeah, heading through our Saturday now into Sunday and Monday. You see more rain. It looks like Monday, the next system really dives on in, and some of that may even sneak down into the Bay Area with a bit of rain there. So putting it all together, this sort of soggy forecast and what is to come through next Tuesday, a number of areas where we could be talking 3 to 5 inches, with if not even more, around the Olympic Peninsula.
Yeah, because snow levels are so high, you got a lot of rain too as you go up the foothills of the mountains. So of the Cascades, a lot of rain. Travelers on 90, heads up here, I think, you know, you could be dealing with a lot of ponding of water on the interstate.
Yeah, so that's the sort of the bad side of things. The good side is, again, we need some of this wet weather, and of course we need some snow. We'll take it here if we can get it here over the coming days. It is on the way.
Yeah. All right.